From the land of lakes, this is 10,000 Takes. Brought to you by Minnesota Score Radio. Wally and Eric back for yet another day, yet another week.
Here we go.
Yet another year. Yes, indeed, as we ring in 2026 with the New Year's edition of 10K Takes on television. And as we ring it in, the Minnesota Vikings will ring it out on Sunday.
Yes,
that'll be it. And they're going to put this miserable 2025/26 season in the rearview mirror
Thank
quickly.
goodness.
But they got to get right to work. Even though the playoffs and the Super Bowl are upcoming for the fortunate teams still playing in the postseason, the Vikings have to answer some questions. They can't really do anything until March when the real NFL New Year begins.
Your NFL New Year.
But they have a lot of things to solve.
Yeah, they do. And it starts right at the top. It starts, well, Kevin O'Connell, possibly. Do you think that he maybe mismanaged J.J. McCarthy during the season? You know, trying to force things that weren't there, maybe trying to fit him into what he wanted as opposed to the other way around. But clearly, the quarterback position. I mean, we've been talking about this since last May. Who's going to be, quarterback number 2, QB2 for the Minnesota Vikings? And it didn't get solved until they brought in Carson Wentz late, like the week before the regular season started, and JJ gets hurt, and then Carson Wentz gets hurt, and you got Max Brosmer now. And I just think that it's important for the Vikings, as you said, to get to work now and figure out, okay, who can we theoretically get in here to challenge J.J. McCarthy? Because one thing we do know about J.J. McCarthy, he's fragile.
Absolutely. Already 4 major injuries in a career that is 2 years in. But remember, year 1, there was no playing except for that preseason counterfeit game against Las Vegas when he suffered injury number 1. Yeah, they have to pinpoint who they want to bring in to either be QB1 or QB1A to compete, as you said, with J.J. McCarthy. Right. There's upside with J.J., but he hasn't proven he can stay on the field. That's we're not banging on him. That's reality.
That's true.
And until that changes, that's going to be the narrative. Now, Max Brosmer is QB3. I'm totally okay with it. Let him continue to learn and develop. So it's going to have to be a veteran, somebody on the market. Might be a Tua Tagovailoa.
You mentioned him a couple times now.
You could probably get Kyler Murray cheap. You don't want to, blow the bank on whoever you're bringing in, right? You got to think about the salary cap. Do they want Murray? I have no idea. But he's got experience. He's won before. And he could probably, if he stays on the field, give that offense a lift. He was injured this year in Arizona. So, and there will be other names out there, but they have to figure it out. If Kevin O'Connell truly is this quarterback whisperer, they better get it right this offseason.
Yeah.
Because they dropped the ball this past year. It was a big-time fumble.
No, yeah, there's no question. I mean, they obviously thought that they could win this year because they spent, $253 million on free agents. Then you bring all these guys in. You got Justin Jefferson in the prime of his career, and I still say I know Justin Jefferson's been the good soldier and hasn't said anything bad, and, he just walking the walk and, being a team guy. But you wasted maybe one of the prime years of his career because you thought that J.J. McCarthy was going to be your guy, and he still could be your guy, but you didn't have a backup plan. And your backup plan didn't roll in until the week before the regular season started. So all this stuff has to start right now. They've got to figure this out. So are they going to draft another quarterback? I doubt that.
No, don't do that, please. so we've seen enough evidence that these young guys don't hit the ground running.
Exactly. So get a list of guys that are going to be available that you think could help you, and get that thing going, and know going into free agent season and draft season what you want to do, and get it done early so they can have them in the mini camps.
Absolutely. And look, I don't want to pin all the blame on JJ or Carson Wentz or even Max Brosmer, who's now had a few chances to start. Their offensive line, which, as you pointed out, they spent money. They thought they upgraded it, fortified it, bolstered it. They thought they were going to be more physical. Well, the offensive line has been fragile.
Right.
Most of these guys have been in and out of the lineup all season. They got to fix that. And as big a question as JJ is, I think Christian Darrisaw is too. He's a bodyguard, offensive left tackle, a critical position for a right-hand quarterback. When he's on the field, Darrisaw, very good. He's outstanding. He's not on the field enough. What are you going to do at left tackle? If you can't count on your left tackle in the NFL with a right-hand quarterback, you're toast.
Yeah. Well, and he's almost off the field as much as J.J. McCarthy has been, that's for sure. All right. We're going to talk some more football in the next segment. They're healthy, and they're headed to Canton, the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, how about the UW River Falls Falcons? All that and more coming up on 10K Takes. Your purple ticket.
Recovery isn't just for elite athletes. It's for anyone who wants to feel better in their body. At $5 Tan and Wellness, our infrared sauna and red light therapy help reduce muscle soreness, improve circulation, and support faster recovery. Whether you're training hard, staying active, or just feeling worn down, infrared heat works deep into muscles and joints, while red light therapy supports cellular repair and inflammation reduction. No impact, no downtime. Athlete or not, your body does the work for you every day. Stop in at $5 Tan and Wellness and start recovering the smart way.
Life moves pretty fast, but not at Freddy's. When that first bite hits, you can't help but slow down. The secret to quality time is just quality and time. That's Freddy's.
Mom, what's wrong with them?
That's called quality time. Don't stare.
Stop by any one of Freddy's 6 Minnesota locations.
Seeing clearly matters. Being seen matters more. Nobody cares for eyes more than Pearl.
In Lakeville, Minnesota, dozens of meeting venues are ready to host your next corporate event, banquet, and holiday party. Lakeville has unique conference facilities, a variety of hotels, an abundance of team-building options, and dining that are sure to impress. For suggestions that suit your needs, please call the Lakeville Convention and Visitors Bureau at 952-469-2020 or go to visitlakeville.org. Lakeville, we mean business.
Welcome back, 10,000 Takes, and the college football season is not quite over. Obviously, a lot of the playoff games now in the rearview mirror, but there is one bowl game that is still waiting on the horizon, and the guy who's joining us now is the head coach of one of the teams in that game. It's Matt Walker. He is the head coach of my alma mater, UW River Falls. They will be playing in the Division III National Championship game against North Central on Sunday. That's January 4th. You probably wish it was August, although your team seems to play pretty well in the cold. You won some cold weather games at home in River Falls, Coach, and now playing for a national championship. Kind of a whirlwind for you guys, huh?
You know, it's funny you say the word August. We were just talking about how we're going into our 6th month of football. And it felt, sometimes it feels like yesterday we were reporting in August, and other days it feels like it was years ago. But yeah, what a surreal time, and almost hard to put words to how we're feeling still after the crazy win on Saturday. Tough to put our emotions into words right now. But yeah, what an amazing time.
And Coach, I've always been impressed by the top to bottom strength of the WIAC. I mean, when I did St. Thomas games, you always looked at Whitewater, or you looked at UW Oshkosh, or then it was UW La Crosse. All these programs have had these kind of pinnacle moments, and now it's UW River Falls. Congrats on getting out of what might be the toughest D3 conference in the U.S.
Well, I appreciate it. Yeah, I say it all the time, whether it's recruiting or trying to explain to people the situation here. I think it's the best league in the country. I don't think that's debated that hard anymore. You had 6 teams in the top 25 for the majority of the year. You got 4 in the playoffs. You got, teams that don't even get in the playoffs that could make a run. I've always said the best league in America it's been a cycle. Everyone's had their run where they've had eras of dominating this best league. We had great runs in the 70s and 80s, and obviously Whitewater's had an historical one. La Crosse has had national championship runs. Everyone sort of had their moment. Just before I took the job, we'd hit rock bottom of one of the cycles. We'd spent a decade at the bottom of the league, and it just was our turn, and then we took the job and rebuilt the sucker, and it just took a little longer than anybody wanted. Nobody was more frustrated than me in how long this rebuild took, but yeah, just so proud of so many people that it took, and the commitment from a lot of people to hang in there with me with this vision. And yeah, boy, when you can come out of this league as the sole champion, it's a huge accomplishment in itself, let alone this playoff run that we've been on.
I know you've got a lot of kids from all over, but specifically Minnesota kids. Your quarterback, Caleb Blaha, maybe the best quarterback in the nation. I know you told me you thought he was, and I don't blame you for saying that. Rohrer, who caught that game-winning touchdown pass for you in the semifinals, is a Woodbury kid. Blaha is from Fridley. I mean, you've done, and I've always said this, with the proximity to the Twin Cities, River Falls should be able to get Minnesota kids, some top Minnesota kids to play, and it looks like you're doing that now.
Yeah, I think it's one of the intriguing things when I was, interested in the job and wanted to get this role. It's like there was a few things. One, the league. The league intrigued me. I wanted to be in the best league in the country. I wanted a chance to be at the top of the profession. But clearly the location was something that intrigued me, the ability to recruit both states. I was already thinking ahead about, the airport piece was the one piece we had over the rest of the league where logistically, realistically, we could do something with the airport. As you could feel recruiting starting to change and become more of a national thing even back then. I knew we had some work to do to protect our backyard, and that was the first priority for me to win these Minnesota and Wisconsin kids. But, the airport's been a unique piece for us with our little Arizona pocket. But yeah, it's one of the things I thought could help contribute to this vision. The other thing, they were talking about this new building that I'm currently sitting in. That facility upgrade was something that needed to happen. It wasn't done when I got here, but the whispers were going around, and I knew if we could get it going with the location, and again, you talk about the league, and if we could get the building done and get some momentum in recruiting, and I knew this could happen one day. Like I said before, it just took longer than we all wanted it to.
Yeah.
Because you like to get into the Twin Cities and recruit, and it's certainly understandable. When St. Thomas left the MIAC and went D3 to D1, suddenly there's a group of kids they're not necessarily going after. Are you getting some of those kids who might have went to a St. Thomas 5, 6, 7 years ago?
Oh, I'd have to say, yeah. I mean, it's the same. I'm still fighting them some for some of the top end kids in our class. I'm fighting a lot of NSIC with Bemidji and Duluth and Augustine and Mankato. That group's fighting me for the top end kids in our class. You're recruiting against some of the Western schools in our league still. The St. John's and Bethels are in the fight with us as well. But yeah, I would like to think it's opening up a little bit of pocket of kids that maybe they vacated when they moved levels.
You're no stranger to throwing the football. We were joking. Somebody texted me, one of my fellow alums texted me at halftime of the semifinal game and said, I think I've seen more passes now than I saw in 4 years back in the Mike Farley days, back in the late 70s and into the early 80s. But you guys have been piling up the points, averaging 40-plus per game in the playoffs. Tell us a little bit about your offensive strategy and philosophy that has led to this.
Well, we have this kind of goofy brand to it too. We call it Top Gun offense. I'm sure people make fun of us and think we're cheesy and whatever, but we don't care. We're here to have some fun. College football should be fun. So we gave it a little brand, and when we were dabbling with some of this tempo offense in 2019, and we went into the COVID season in 20 and didn't play and had some time to, think and talk, and made some bold decisions. We sort of said, our vision was to become the fastest team in the world that snaps the football in American football. And we've become it. It's not a thing we're making up. There's studies that have shown since COVID, nobody at any level, Division 1, 2, 3, no one snaps it faster than we do. We wanted all the benefits of being a tempo offense. And again, it's bold. A lot of people, it's a cool, trendy, fun thing to say that you're willing to do that and that you'll go for it on fourth down as much as we do. And you'll go super. A lot of people like to say it. It's cool right now, but very few are willing to actually do it on Saturdays. We went all in. and we reap all the benefits of going faster than anybody in the world that plays our sport. And it's exploded. It's led to a lot of success, and our offense gets a lot of publicity as it should. And you're leading the country in all levels of football and total offense. Your quarterback's going to be the player of the year in the country, or if he's not, something's wrong with our system. You're doing all this stuff, but like, our defense deserves a lot of credit. Jake Wissing, our defensive coordinator, he's a big part of the success offensively. You have to have buy-in from that guy because he's so bought in. The rest of our defense is bought in. This becomes a tempo program, we say. It was a program decision with our defense in mind. It wasn't just this offensive thing we thought about. But yeah, it was a lot of commitment. We sort of built the aircraft in the air a little bit, the plane in the air as we've gone with this thing. And it's a unique system and different, and we're willing to do things a lot of people aren't. And we've been blessed with some great quarterbacks since 2001 to run the thing.
All right, Coach, and one last question for you. I know you're playing North Central out of Illinois, very good football team. Obviously, they're not going to be in the national championship game if they weren't a good football team. But take me through briefly the game-winning touchdown last week. It's gotten a lot of play nationally on ESPN and so on and so forth. But take me through what you saw and how that all came down in 30 seconds or less, if you can.
I'm going to tell you the God's honest truth on that football play. We'd seen man coverage almost every snap of the football game. They went a little bit of zone situationally, I would say. But all of a sudden we came out and they had safety help over the top of Blake Rohr. You mentioned him, the Woodbury kid, who, he went for 236 and 3 touchdowns on the day. So I'd have put a safety over the top of him too, but we hadn't seen it much all day. And all of a sudden, which typically says it's hard to get over the top that way when there's safety help over the top. And as soon as Caleb let it go, I really was thinking, you need to work the other side of the field. This vertical's got safety help. And by God, he let it go. And my heart kind of sunk in my stomach for a second, because I said this safety might get there. And about that time, Blake literally jumped in front of the safety and sort of snagged the football. Just one of these incredible plays by these guys that it's one of those deals where it's players, not plays. Like, that's not really the perfect play for that structure that we saw. But those two kids had it going all day. As soon as I saw him sort of jump in front of that safety and catch it, I'm like, I think that sucker just put us into the national championship.
And
amazing. An emotion you can't hardly describe.
Yeah. Well, Coach, congratulations on the run. Good luck in Canton, and we will see you at the Hall of Fame Stadium in Canton, Ohio on January 4th.
Cannot wait. Going to be fun to join all your other former Falcon alums and friends.
We'll be there.
What an amazing Falcon nation this has become, and obviously everyone's excited. But the town, the campus, it's absolutely indescribable how exciting this is going to be.
All right. Thanks, Coach. All right. He is Matt Walker.
Thank you, guys.
He is the head football coach of the UW River Fall Falcons. And they are headed to the national championship game, the Stagg Bowl, on January 4th. Back with more after this time.
Life moves pretty fast, but not at Freddy's. When that first bite hits, you can't help but slow down. The secret to quality time is just quality and time. That's Freddy's.
Mom, what's wrong with them?
That's called quality time. Don't stare.
Stop by any one of Freddy's 6 Minnesota locations.
In Lakeville, Minnesota, dozens of meeting venues are ready to host your next corporate event, banquet, and holiday party. Lakeville has unique conference facilities, a variety of hotels, an abundance of team-building options, and dining that are sure to impress. For suggestions that suit your needs, please call the Lakeville Convention and Visitors Bureau at 952-469-2020 or go to visitlakeville.org. Lakeville, we mean business.
Seeing clearly matters. Being seen matters more. Nobody cares for eyes more than Pearl.
Happy New Year from Minnesota Scores 10,000 Takes. Wally and Eric. We are heading into this 2026 year / sports season, and I thought it would be appropriate to come up with some predictions for the upcoming year of sports. And I will let you start because I know that you've been chomping at the bit to let everybody out there in TV land know what your thoughts are.
I will look into the 10K Takes crystal ball. Well, I'm going to start with the Minnesota Twins. 2025 was rough. It was bleak, to put it mildly. But, hey, a new year beckons. In about a month and a half, they'll be in Fort Myers, spring training down there in the Grapefruit League. All will be peachy keen for Twins territory. But my prediction is the highlight of the Twins season will come in the middle of the summer in the middle of an Iowa cornfield. Yes, indeed. They're going to play that Field of Dreams game against Philadelphia. And that really should be fun. I hope I can get down to that. We remember when the White Sox played the Yankees in the inaugural cornfield game, and I think Tim Anderson walked it off for Chicago. It went into the corn fields in center field. And I think that probably will be the pinnacle of your Minnesota Twins season. Now, the bad news is they play the Phillies. And I would imagine the swinging Phillies are going to knock about 8 balls into the corn. They're going to harvest that cornfield with all those taters.
Yeah, I think the bad news is that the Twins ownership deal didn't change. It's still the same ownership.
No, they're just playing hot potato. It's a new poll ad now.
Yeah. It's
the family just takes turns.
Yes, they do. It's Tom's turn now. Okay. You say it was bleak in 2025 for the Minnesota Twins. Of course, it was almost equally as bleak for the Minnesota Vikings, as we discussed a little bit earlier. I mean, look, this is a team that should be in the playoffs right now. They should be going to the playoffs. Heck, they were 14-3 a year ago, and now they are out of the postseason as a result of a failed decision at the quarterback position. So, that being said, I predict that in 2026, your Minnesota Vikings will be headed back to the postseason, and that they will, in fact, look to get yet another quarterback on board, and it's going to be an old familiar name. No, not Brett Favre, although I'm sure they thought about it. It's going to be Kirk Cousins back in a Minnesota Vikings uniform, something they might have thought about a couple of years ago. Of course, Kirk had other ideas. He was cashing checks and headed all the way to the bank down there in Atlanta. But I think that trip is over. Kirk Cousins back as a Viking, and he will be J.J. McCarthy's go-to guy starting next season. How do you like
Kirk
that?
On the rebound.
Yes.
How about that? Wow, that's definitely possible for a team that plays musical chairs with quarterback every season.
A bold prediction.
It's a revolving door.
Yes.
Okay, well, my other prediction is that I think the new ownership group of the Minnesota Timberwolves, and they've done everything right so far. They're bringing Kevin Garnett back.
Yes.
That was a slam dunk. And the team is very good. They might make another run to the NBA playoffs and beyond. But I think they're going to say, hey, St. Paul, we need some money from the taxpayers for a new playpen. And I think they're going to get swatted away, just like Rudy G does to a 5'11" point guard taking the rock to the rack in the paint. They're not going to get any traction in St. Paul. And speaking of St. Paul, that hockey team that plays at Grand Casino Arena, they're probably going to want some funding as well to fix up that thing, which, oh, by the way, I was there the other day. It's wonderful. They're going to get the shot blocked. They're not going to make any traction either. Craig Leopold, Mark Laurie, A-Rod, if you want new facilities, dig into your deep pockets and pay for it yourself.
That's for sure. And finally, I have a prediction for you with regard to those two teams, the Wild and the Wolves. Yes, they will both make the postseason. No, their high hopes will be dashed once again. Hopefully the Wild at least get out of the playoffs in the first round, which hasn't happened in a long time.
9 years, I believe.
Yeah, they're going on 10. All right. More to come. Takes of the day coming up next. Stay with us.
In Lakeville, Minnesota, dozens of meeting venues are ready to host your next corporate event, banquet, and holiday party. Lakeville has unique conference facilities, a variety of hotels, an abundance of team building options, and dining that are sure to impress. For suggestions that suit your needs, please call the Lakeville Convention and Visitors Bureau at 952-469-2020 or go to visitlakeville.org. Lakeville, we mean business.
Seeing clearly matters. Being seen matters more. Nobody cares for eyes more than Pearl.
Life moves pretty fast, but not at Freddy's. When that first bite hits, you can't help but slow down. The secret to quality time is just quality and time. That's Freddy's.
Mom, what's wrong with them?
That's called quality time. Don't stare.
Stop by any one of Freddy's 6 Minnesota locations.
Recovery isn't just for elite athletes, it's for anyone who wants to feel better in their body. At $5 Tan and Wellness, our infrared sauna and red light therapy help reduce muscle soreness, improve circulation, and support faster recovery. Whether you're training hard, staying active, or just feeling worn down, infrared heat works deep into muscles and joints, while red light therapy supports cellular repair and inflammation reduction. No impact, no downtime. Athlete or not, your body does the work for you every day. Stop in at $5 Tan and Wellness and start recovering the smart way.
10K takes on television as we wrap up yet another episode and christen the brand new year. Happy 2026.
Yes.
We're going to find out, are you going to begin this year in a good mood? Are you a happy camper? Or are you the usual cranky commander, grumpy guardian, or whatever it is? Because it is time for takes of the day.
Yeah. Well, I think this is a happy one as far as I'm concerned. Yes, 41-year-old Lindsey Vonn, the Minnesota native who grew up going down the hills of Buck Hill, is now just a few weeks away from going back to the Olympics. Yes, the 2026 Olympics in northern Italy will feature Lindsey Vonn, who, oh, by the way, took the podium in 4 out of 5 races in December in World Cup races, including when she became the oldest female to ever win a World Cup race that she won in St. Moritz, Switzerland. So Lindsey Vonn with the titanium knee now has been an incredible story. I think that there were doubters when she announced a little over a year ago that she was going to come back and try this. Look, she was out for 7-8 years out of main competition, but she's back in it and she's in it to win it. Congratulations to Lindsey and good luck at the Olympics. I have a funny feeling that it won't be surprising when she takes home another medal.
All right, let's check out the mood meter.
Yes.
Oh, he's a happy camper.
I am.
All right, he starts off 2026 with a smile.
I tried to be nice.
Lindsay's the Phillip Rivers of skiers.
Yes, she is.
All right, well, my take of the day, I think if you watch this program, you know that I'm anti-Thursday night football.
Yes.
I'm anti-dome. I'm anti-field turf. All of that stuff, I think, is setting the NFL back. But let me be real strong here in this take. Dear Commissioner Roger Goodell and your 32 owners, or 31 if you want to count Green Bay as just a cluster, do not go to the 18th game. Scrap the idea now. Have you seen all the injuries that continually happen in the National Football League on a weekly basis? These players fall like dominoes. 18 is way too much. 17 is way too much. How about getting rid of the 17th game, going back to 16? Will there still be injuries? Yes, unfortunately there will be. But I feel like there are more injuries in the NFL now than I can remember in any era. And they supposedly are trying to make the game safer, although I have my doubts about that. I think they're very hypocritical, making 6 teams play 3 games on Christmas Day every year now. You don't care about safety. You care about the Benjamins.
That's all they care about.
And on that note, we will say goodbye to the inaugural edition of 10K Takes in 2026. Thanks for tuning us in. We are 10K Takes, your sports ticket.